How's it going, everybody? My name's Eric, and in this video, the Dymo 5XL, we have it in hand. We're gonna do an unboxing. We're gonna do some print demonstrations. We're gonna do an initial review of the printer. The 4XL, I'm sure you're familiar with it, has finally been updated after 17 years. And now they've finally updated it with the 5XL. I bought this printer myself off of Amazon. I'm actually one of Dymo's biggest critics because there's just so many better printers out there, and the price to value ratio that Dymo offers is inferior, at least for the 4XL, but will it be inferior for the 5XL? We're gonna have to find out. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please give the video a thumbs up. If you aren't already subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing, and let's get into the unboxing. The Dymo 5XL in all of its glory. This just came out October 2021, at least in the United States. I think it came out earlier in Europe, but I literally just got my hands on this. I ordered this off of Amazon. It was $199 from Amazon. I hope that's the price that it stays, but Dymo products tend to fluctuate on Amazon. This is $199, while the Dymo 4XL is $211. This is a newer, better printer than this, so that makes no sense at all. I will do a specific comparison video, 5XL versus 4XL, in the future, but I did want to mention the price and the price comparison because I think that's very important, even for this review. We got a nice, super colorful box from Dymo. They are great on their packaging and their marketing. They throw in some wireless signals right here to make it look wireless, but as you'll see later on in this video, it's technically not wireless. Even though it's 2021, they went the Ethernet route. But let's get into this box. We are greeted with a quick start guide. We never look at quick start guides. A nice little piece of cardboard that keeps the printer secure in shipping. The printer itself, we will set to the side. We get a starter roll of labels. That's nice. We get our USB printer cable. We get a power cable, and we get our power supply. Now let's take a look at the printer itself. Very nice glossy finish. And then on the inside, they got their test prints from the factory. We have our spool. It still has a cheap, chintzy feel. You have the instructions on how to spool right there. They did include a power button on this model. We have a forwards and a backwards. We have this feed guide that's adjustable. This kind of moves the platen roller when you get jammed, and you will get jammed based off of the way that the Dymo is designed. On the back of the printer, we have a power in. Power supply is 24 volts, 3.75 amps, and the barrel connector on it looks just like the 4XL. Back to the back of the printer, we have this little stop, install software first. I'm actually going to open that up because it should have an Ethernet port and a USB port. There we go. That's what's new about this printer. We now have networking capabilities, but you're going to be networking via Ethernet, and they did not even include an Ethernet cord in the package. Come on, Dymo. This is the main upgrade and enhancement on this printer, is this Ethernet port in the back. So rather than just being able to print with a USB cable, which is this port, you can hook this up to your wireless router. Now, all of the computers in my household, once I install the Dymo software on them, will be able to print to this printer without a USB cable rather than just one computer at one time. So it's not really wireless, it's networkable. You're gonna need physical access and placement of the printer near your router. So if your router's in one room and your shipping station is in another room, that's not really good workflow to be walking back and forth to get a single label. You'd have to do it all at once and then bring the labels. Yeah, it's just not super convenient to have to be hardwired to your network. That's a limitation to think about, and I don't really understand why Dymo would have just gone Ethernet other than the cheap costs of it when they could have gone wireless like some competitors have and these printers have been out for years. If you're not familiar with Dymo's labels, they are proprietary, meaning they are designed by Dymo, for Dymo. They need these little punches right here that a sensor reads. It reads the distance between the labels, which lets the printer know what labels are loaded, but it also hurts the consumer because you have to get these proprietary labels. You can't get free labels from UPS or FedEx, which increases the cost over time for your entire printing operation. So that is always something to take into consideration. You get a little mini roll from Dymo right here. However, if you want to replace this, it's going to cost you about 8 cents a label if you buy the OEM Dymo labels, or if you get an off-brand, it can bring you down to about 2 cents a label, but they must have this punch on them in order to work. Whenever you get a jam or you want to clean the printer head, you have to open up this front cover. You do that by lifting the plastic over those 2 tabs and pulling that front cover forward. That exposes this board, which has our buttons and our LEDs on it. And when you pull this lever over here, it's going to pull down your print head from contact with the platen roller. And it's hard to see on camera, but it gives you just enough angle to clean it with a Q-tip and some alcohol. If you look over here, it does look like they routed or extended a flex cable for a little bit of a better design compared to the 4XL. There was a lot more tension when you move the print head forward in order to clean it. To get this back on, you're gonna slide the bottom of the front face into the bottom of the printer and just kind of rotate it back and click those 2 snaps into place. After touring the printer a little bit, let's set this up. And this video is not an installation video. This is strictly a review. I will have a tutorial coming out for Mac and for PC coming out in a couple of days, and I will link to those videos in the description if you are trying to just install your printer. Dymo really did not mention this on their box, but it is a selling point, which is why I don't really know why they didn't mention it on their box. But this printer, it is a 300 DPI printer, meaning that it prints at a higher quality than the Rollo. It prints at a higher quality than a 203 DPI off-brand Amazon China printer. It prints at a higher quality than a lot of Zebra printers. The barcodes are crisper. The text is clearer. Not a huge deal. There are other 300 DPI printers out there, but it is something that Dymo does use, which I like. And the trade-off is it slows down printing, so it'll print slower, however, it'll be a higher quality. They did not mention the 300 DPI capabilities anywhere on the box or anywhere in their little manual. So I'm gonna get this hooked up with my Mac and with my PC, and I'll report back to you guys in a second. I believe I have it set up on my Mac. I'm sending my first label to the printer. So I'm gonna set a timer to see how long it takes to send the signal through the computer. I'm gonna hit print the same time I press the timer and go. And it's sending the signal to the router. Should be received by the Dymo. A little light flicked on the Dymo, if you guys can see that. And the label has printed out at about 14 seconds. Between 13 and 14 seconds, I would say. And setup on a Mac wasn't bad. I will be coming out with a tutorial for it. So we just set it up on the Windows computer. Now we're gonna do a test print. Pretty easy. We'll have a full tutorial coming out soon. So we're gonna time this. We're gonna hit print, send the signal from the computer wirelessly to our router over there, and then the router sending the signal through the Ethernet cable that we plugged in earlier. And it should take, it looks like it's getting received by the Dymo. That light kicked on, and it's now at 20 seconds, 21, 22, 23, 24. So about 25 seconds from the PC. I don't know if it has something to do with my traffic or my computer. There's definitely a delay from the data transfer to the router and everything. We were talking earlier about 300 DPI. I want to show you in comparison. This is a 203 DPI printer over here. This is a 300 DPI. As you can see, it's darker, it's crisper. looks better. And that is what I do like about Dymo. Now, they're not the only 300 DPI printer. I will put a link to, we'll put a link to some other 300 DPI printers in the description. But as for final recommendations and thoughts, things that I like about it, it's 300 DPI. They added Ethernet. They gave you some labels to start with. Installation was pretty easy. I think it comes with a 2-year warranty as well. That's good. So what I don't like is that there's no mobile printing yet. It's not truly wireless. You have to be connected to your router via the Ethernet port. So depending on where your router's at in your house, it could be very inconvenient of a location for the printer. You also could print via USB if you just have one computer needing this printer. USB printing will also be faster than what we showed during the Ethernet. I also don't like that Dymo did not give us an Ethernet cord in the box. I don't like that it uses proprietary labels. That's kind of a standard thing with Dymo. I can really only think of one use case scenario where you would need a Dymo product, and that is if you're tied to their software. They have their own software that has label designers. And if you need that software for your business to create labels or to manage an address book. So 99.9% of people, I would say, don't need this printer. I'll put a bunch of links to videos in the description to a bunch of printers that I actually recommend that have better design or features or pricing. For instance, this FreeX printer is truly wireless on Mac and PC, and it's only like 150 bucks, so you're already saving money. It uses non-proprietary labels, and if you want to check out my unboxing review on this printer, I will put a link to that one specifically in the description, as well as a bunch of other printers. I'm not here to sell you on any printer specifically. I like to present the options that I've had with my hands-on experience, and then you can make the decision based off of your budget, your pricing, the features that you want after seeing them all laid out. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments about this printer, please put them in the comment section. If you haven't already given the video a thumbs up, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.